I'd unsexy pulled into the driveway after a long haul back from a work gig in Denver. Been gone 2 weeks, hauling freight cross-country, and man, I was beat. Thought I'd come home to my wife, Tara, maybe a cold beer and some quiet. 8 years hitched, you figure you know a gal. Turns out, I didn't know squat. Dropped my duffel by the front door and fished out my keys. Stuck the key in the lock, but it wouldn't budge. Jiggled it, thinking it was just rusty. House is old, locks get finicky. Then it hit me. This wasn't my lock. Someone had swapped it out. My gut twisted, but I kept cool. Pulled out my phone and shot Tara a text. Just got home. What's with the lock? No reply for a minute. Then my phone buzzed. Her message popped up. Found someone better. Don't bother coming in. We're done. Timestamp said she sent it right then, like she was watching me through the peephole or something. I glanced up at the little camera above the door. Yep, she probably was. Sitting there in my house, on my recliner, texting me like I'm some delivery guy she's shooing off. I took a deep breath, let it out slow, and grinned. Typed back. You sure about that, darling? Then I grabbed my duffel, turned on my heel, and walked off. No yelling, no banging on the door, just me and my bag rolling down the sidewalk. Saw her typing in the chat, those 3 little dots bouncing, but I didn't wait for her comeback. Checked into a motel couple blocks over, the kind with flickering neon and a clerk who don't ask questions. Called up my buddy Jake while I tossed my stuff on the bed. Man, you ain't gonna believe this, I said. Tara locked me out. Says she's got a new guy. Jake whistled low. That's cold, Cole. What you gonna do? Dunno yet, I said. But I got a feeling she don't know what she's stepping into. See, here's the thing Tara didn't get. I ain't just some dumb trucker. Been around, seen some stuff, and I've always got a plan brewing. Last video call we had, something was off. She was in the living room, sure, but the little stuff was wrong. That old quilt she loved, the one her granny made, folded different, tucked on the wrong side of the sofa. And there was a mug on the coffee table, some fancy one I'd never seen. She brushed it off when I asked, said she'd been sprucing things up. Yeah, right? Couple days before I got back, I'd heard something else on a call. Some guy laughing in the background. She swore it was the radio, but I know our stereo, it's got this hum when it's on. This wasn't that. It was a real voice, close by. She hung up fast after that. Said she was wiped out. Her text got short after that, like she couldn't be bothered. I'd tell her about a good run, and she'd just say, cool, or glad it went okay. Used to be she'd ask a million questions. Where'd you stop? How's the rig holding up? Not this time. Then there was the drive home. Landed back in town around noon. Texted her I was on my way. Nothing. She always pinged back fast, drive safe. Or see you soon. This time silence. Checked her location on our phone plan, turned off. Weird. Scrolled her Facebook, saw a pic of the living room from some odd angle, like she was showing off. Didn't think much of it then, but standing there with a dead key, it all clicked. Jake showed up at the motel an hour later, pizza box in hand. Heard through the grapevine, he said, cracking a beer. Tara's been cozying up with some slick fella named Bryce. Works at that car lot downtown. They've been seen around. I chewed on that, along with a slice of pepperoni. Bryce, huh? What's his deal? Shady, Jake said. Likes women with something to offer, money, jobs, connections. Then he bails when the well runs dry. I nodded, slow. Logged into her cloud account. Tara never messed with passwords, too lazy. There they were, pics of her and this Bryce guy, mugging it up in my house. Timestamped back 3 weeks. But she missed something big. Something I tucked away when I set up her side gig a while back. A little paperwork she didn't read close enough. My phone buzzed again. Tara, you're taking this too easy. Guess I was right to move on. I smirked, thinking about what I just found, a contract she'd signed, tying her little business to me in ways she didn't see. Sent a screenshot to my lawyer, then texted her. Give it 3 days. We'll see who's moving on. She fired back. What's that mean? I didn't answer. Just leaned back, sipping my beer, watching her texts pile up. She had no clue I'd built her whole world, and I could flip the switch to bring it down. Let her enjoy her new guy for now. 3 days, and she'd see what better really costs. So there I was, holed up in that dingy motel room, pizza grease on my fingers and Tara's texts lighting up my phone like a fireworks show. She went from cocky to twitchy real fast after my last message. Give it 3 days. We'll see who's moving on. Now it was all. What's that mean, Cole? And you ain't scaring me. I didn't reply. Let her stew. I had work to do. Jake was sprawled on the other bed, scrolling his phone. Bryce ain't just some car salesman, he said, squinting at the screen. Buddy of mine saw him at Rusty's bar last week, buying rounds like he's loaded. Word is, he's been sniffing around Tara's trucking dispatch gig. That hit me like a slug to the chest. Tara's dispatch business, little side hustle she started 3 years back, wasn't just hers. I'd fronted the cash to get it rolling, hooked her up with my contacts in the freight game. She handled the day-to-day, sure, but the backbone? That was me. And now this Bryce clown was circling it like a buzzard. Keep digging, I told Jake. I need more. I cracked open my laptop and pulled up our joint bank account. Tara never was good with money. Always left the numbers to me. Took about 10 minutes to spot the mess. Big withdrawals, labeled stuff like home supplies or miscellaneous. $1,000 here, $2,000 there. Then I saw it, a $5,000 charge to Elite Auto Sales. Timestamp. 2 weeks ago, right when I was in Denver. Same day she posted a pic of a shiny new pickup on her Facebook. Caption, new ride, new vibe. Guess who owns Elite Auto? Bryce. My jaw tightened, but I kept cool. Logged into the cloud again, poked around some more. Found a folder she'd labeled work stuff. Dumb move. Tara. She never renamed anything. Inside were emails between her and Bryce, going back a month. Not just flirty crap, business talk. Stuff like, Cole's got a big run coming up, could mean new clients, and if we play this right, we can take over his routes. She was feeding him my playbook, thinking she'd cash in. I leaned back, rubbing my eyes. 8 years, and she's selling me out to some slick-talking greaseball. But here's the kicker. She didn't know how deep I'd tied her dispatch gig to me. Back when we started it, I had her sign some papers, called it standard setup stuff. She didn't read it, just scrawled her name where I pointed. That contract said if we split, I could pull the plug on her operation. Liquidate it all. She'd be left with nothing but a desk and a phone. Phone buzzed again. Tara's sister, Lisa, this time. She don't call much, so I picked up. Cole, I can't sit on this, she said, voice shaky. Tara's in deep with this Bryce guy. He's bad news. Did the same thing to a gal in Springfield last year. Wooed her, used her job, then ghosted when she got canned. Tell me something I don't know, I said. She gave me a box last week, Lisa went on. Said it was backup files for her business. I peeked today, Cole, it's receipts, bank stuff, even a lease for that truck. She's hiding money, big time. I sat up straight. You still got it? Yeah. What you want me to do? Sit tight, I said. I'll swing by tomorrow. Hung up and looked at Jake. Tara's stashing cash. Lisa's got proof. He grinned. That's gold, man. What's your play? Gonna rattle her cage, I said. Typed out a text. Talked to some folks about your dispatch numbers. That new truck looks nice. Got the receipts handy? Hit send. 30 seconds later, she fired back. What folks? What are you digging into? Then another. You're bluffing. I smirked and texted. Check with Bryce. Heard he's got a history with gals like you. 2 busts in 3 years. Smooth operator. Watch those typing dots dance, then vanish. She was sweating now. Jake tossed me another beer. You're evil, man. Nah, I said, popping the cap. Just giving her rope to hang herself. Next morning, I hit Lisa's place. She handed me the box, stack of papers, flash drive too. Flipped through it. Receipts for the truck, invoices with Bryce's name, even a note about rerouting Cole's loads. Then I found the gem, a bank statement showing she'd moved 10 grand into a new account. One I didn't have access to, or so she thought. See, I'd set up all her banking years back. Still had the admin login. Back at the motel, I logged in. There it was, her secret account, funded with cash from my routes. I didn't touch it, yet. Instead, I shot her another text, meeting with some trucking buddies tomorrow. They're real curious about your new setup. Sleep tight. She called 10 minutes later, voice all high and tight. Cole, what's going on? What meeting? We gotta talk. We will, I said, calm as can be. After I sort some things out. Night, Tara. Hung up before she could sputter. Jake laughed. She's freaking, man. Good, I said, staring at that box of papers. She ain't seen nothing yet. Tomorrow, I'd start pulling strings. Tara thought she'd traded up with Bryce, but she didn't know I'd built her whole game, and I still held the keys to tear it down. 3 days, I told her. 2 left, and I was just warming up. Morning sunlight was sneaking through the motel blinds when I woke up, that box of Tara's dirty laundry still sitting on the table. Her calls had kept my phone buzzing half the night. 6 missed ones, a dozen texts. Last one said, Cole, call me back. We can work this out. I didn't bite. She'd made her bed with Bryce, now she could lie in it while I flipped the mattress. Jake rolled in around 9, coffee in hand. You look like hell, he said, tossing me a cup. Feel like it too, I said, sipping the black stuff. But I got her on the ropes. Pulled out that flash drive Lisa gave me and plugged it into my laptop. Took a minute to load, but when it did, I hit pay dirt. Audio files, recordings of Tara and Bryce, yapping away. First one was dated 3 weeks back, right after I left for Denver. Her voice came through clear. Cole's got a big contract coming. If we snag his clients, we're set. Then Bryce, all smooth like, play it smart, babe. We'll run this town. I clenched my fist, but kept listening. Another file, a week later, Tara saying, move some cash to that new account. He won't notice. Bryce laughing. You're a natural. Keep him distracted. Distracted? Huh? 8 years of busting my hump for her, and she's laughing it up with this sleaze. Jake, I said, this is dynamite. He leaned over, grinning. She's toast, man. What's next? Time to tighten. I'd unsexy pulled into the driveway after a long haul back from a work gig in Denver. Been gone 2 weeks, hauling freight cross country, and man, I was beat. Thought I'd come home to my wife, Tara, maybe a cold beer and some quiet. 8 years hitched, you figure you know a gal. Turns out, I didn't know squat. Dropped my duffel by the front door and fished out my keys. Stuck the key in the lock, but it wouldn't budge. Jiggled it, thinking it was just rusty. House is old, locks get finicky. Then it hit me. This wasn't my lock. Someone had swapped it out. My gut twisted, but I kept cool. Pulled out my phone and shot Tara a text. Just got home. What's with the lock? No reply for a minute. Then my phone buzzed. Her message popped up. Found someone better. Don't bother coming in. We're done. Timestamp said she sent it right then, like she was watching me through the peephole or something. I glanced up at the little camera above the door. Yep, she probably was. Sitting there in my house, on my recliner, texting me like I'm some delivery guy she's shooing off. I took a deep breath, let it out slow, and grinned. Typed back. You sure about that, darling? Then I grabbed my duffel, turned on my heel, and walked off. No yelling, no banging on the door, just me and my bag rolling down the sidewalk. Saw her typing in the chat, those 3 little dots bouncing, but I didn't wait for her comeback. Checked into a motel couple blocks over, the kind with flickering neon and a clerk who don't ask questions. Called up my buddy Jake while I tossed my stuff on the bed. Man, you ain't gonna believe this, I said. Tara locked me out. Says she's got a new guy. Jake whistled low. That's cold, Cole. What you gonna do? Dunno yet, I said. But I got a feeling she don't know what she's stepping into. See, here's the thing Tara didn't get. I ain't just some dumb trucker. Been around, seen some stuff, and I've always got a plan brewing. Last video call we had, something was off. She was in the living room, sure, but the little stuff was wrong. That old quilt she loved, the one her granny made, folded different, tucked on the wrong side of the sofa. And there was a mug on the coffee table, some fancy one I'd never seen. She brushed it off when I asked, said she'd been sprucing things up. Save it, I said. Heard you and Bryce loud and clear. Real cozy plans you got. She gasped. What did you hear? Cole, please, don't do anything stupid. Too late for that, I said. Talk tomorrow. Got some folks waiting. Hung up. Jake brought burgers that night, and we hashed it out. She's cracking, he said. Bryce'll bolt soon. Guys like him don't stick around for messes. Let him run, I said, biting into my food. Tara's the one who's gonna feel this. Before bed, I sent one more text. Check your email in the morning. Read the fine print from June 12th. That's the day she signed that contract, thinking it was just paperwork. She didn't know it gave me the wheel to steer her whole operation, right into the ditch if I wanted. Phone kept buzzing as I drifted off. Tara, what email? Then, Cole, stop this. Last one. You're bluffing again. I smiled in the dark. 2 days down, wanna go. She thought she'd found a better man, but she didn't see I'd rigged the game from the start. Tomorrow, I drop the hammer and watch her squirm. I woke up to a gray sky and a phone full of Tara's panic. She'd blown up my inbox overnight, texts, voicemails, the works. Cole, what's in the email? You're messing with my head. Call me, damn it. I stretched, cracked my knuckles, and grinned. Day 3 was here, and I was ready to bring the roof down. Jake was already up, frying eggs on the motel's little hot plate. She's melting down, he said, nodding at my phone. You checked that email yet? Nope, I said, grabbing a plate. Sent it last night. Figured I'd let her sweat till breakfast. Pulled up my laptop and opened the draft I'd prepped. Subject, dispatch agreement, June 12th. Attached the contract she'd signed. Highlighted the part where it said I could tank her business if she stepped out of line. Added a note. Tara, been real nice helping you build this. Shame you're tossing it for Bryce. Check page 3, section 5. See you soon. Hit send, then dug into my eggs. Phone rang 2 minutes later. Tara, practically shrieking. Cole, what the hell? You can't do this. That's my company. Was, I said, chewing. You signed it over when you started sneaking around. Shoulda read the fine print. You tricked me, she yelled. I trusted you. Funny, I said. I trusted you too. Till I heard you and Bryce plotting on my dime. She went quiet. Then, what did you hear? Who's talking? Enough, I said. Meeting some folks today. We'll sort it out. Hung up before she could beg. Jake laughed. Man, you're cold. Just fair, I said. She wants to play. I'm playing to win. Headed to Ray's shop after breakfast. He called in a few hauling buddies, guys I'd known since I started driving. Showed him the bank records, the receipts, played the audio of Tara spilling my roots to Bryce. She's stealing our work, I said, handing it to some punk who don't even drive. Ray slammed his fist on the table. That's our bread, Cole. What's the plan? Cut her off, I said. Pull your loads from her dispatch. I'm shutting it down legal-like, but she don't need to know that yet. They nodded, grim. She's done, one said. Word's already out. Nobody's booking with her. Back at the motel, I checked her secret account. She tried to move the cash, 10 grand, overnight, but it was frozen. See, I'd called the bank yesterday, flagged it as fishy. They locked it pending review. Tara didn't know I still had pull there. Lisa texted, Tara's a wreck. Bryce stormed out this morning, said she's too hot to handle now. She's begging me to talk to you. I replied, tell her I'm busy. Got a meeting with the co-op. That was true, Ray had set it up for noon. At the co-op, I laid it all out. Showed the contract, the proof she'd screwed us. She's out, I said. I'm pulling the plug. Any of you want her clients, they're yours. Hands shot up, they've been itching to take my runs back. By 1 o'clock, Tara's dispatch was a ghost town. No bookings, no cash flow. Phone buzzed. Tara again. Cole, they're canceling on me. What did you do? I texted. Told you, 3 days. Check your email again. Sent something new. This time, it was a notice from my lawyer, filing to dissolve her business under that contract clause. Copied Ray and the co-op on it, just to twist the knife. She called, sobbing. Cole, you're killing me. I got nothing left. You got Bryce, I said. Oh wait, he bailed, didn't he? Guess he don't like losing. It wasn't supposed to go like this, she said. He said we'd be set. Yeah, I said. He's real good at saying stuff. Check his record, 3 gals like you in 5 years. You're just the latest. She hung up, probably crying harder. I didn't feel bad. 8 years, I'd hauled loads, paid bills, built her dream. She thought she could trade me in like an old rig. Nope. Jake swung by with beers that night. Heard Bryce skip town, he said. Left Tara high and dry. She's selling that truck online cheap. I laughed. Let her. Ain't worth spit now. Phone buzzed one more time. Tara. I'm sorry, Cole. Can we fix this? I stared at it, then typed, too late, darling. You picked your man. Hope he was worth it. Hit send, turned off the phone, and cracked a beer. Day 3 was done. Her dispatch was toast, her cash was locked, and Bryce was gone. I'd torn it all down without raising my voice, just let her greed do the work. But I wasn't finished. Tomorrow, I'd play my last card. Something she'd never see coming. For now, I kicked back, sipping my drink, listening to Jake ramble. Tara thought she'd won. Funny how wrong a gal can be. The motel room smelled like stale beer and Jake's cheap cologne when I woke up. Day 4, and Tara's world was already a smoking wreck. Dispatch business dead. Bryce gone. That fancy truck up for grabs online. She texted me that sorry note last night, begging to fix things. I didn't bite. She'd roll the dice with me, and I'd flip the table. But I still had one card left, and it was a doozy. Jake was out grabbing donuts when my phone rang. Lisa again. Cole, Tara's losing her mind, she said. Showed up at my place at dawn, bawling. Says you've ruined her, took everything. She took it from herself, I said, sipping yesterday's coffee. What you want from you? Help, Lisa said. Asked me to hold some stuff, papers, a laptop. Said it's all she's got left. I didn't take it. Told her to figure it out. Smart, I said. She give you anything else? Yeah, Lisa said, hesitating. She let slip Bryce was pushing her to sell the house. Said he had a buyer lined up, cash deal. She was going to split it with him. I sat up, coffee sloshing. The house? My house. Yours and hers, Lisa said. She's desperate, Cole. Thinks it's her last shot. I hung up, jaw tight. That house, 2-bedroom fixer-upper we bought 6 years back, was in both our names, sure, but I'd paid the mortgage, swung the hammer on every repair. Tara wanted to sell it out from under me? Oh, hell no. Dug into my laptop, pulled up the deed. Took some squinting, but there it was, a clause I'd forgotten. When we refinanced 2 years ago, I'd had my lawyer sneak in a line. If we split, I had first dibs to buy her out. She'd signed it, too busy picking paint colors to notice. That was my ace. Jake rolled in, tossing a donut bag on the table. You look like you're plotting murder, he said. Nah, I said, grinning. Just found out Tara's trying to hawk the house. Thinks she can cash out and run. He whistled. She's got guts. She's got nothing, I said. Watch this. Texted Tara. Heard you're selling the place. Funny, since I got rights to it. Check the refinance papers, March 8th. Sent it. Waited. 5 minutes later, she called. Voice ragged. Cole, what papers? You're bluffing again. Am I? I said. Page 4, paragraph 2. My lawyer's got a copy. You want to sell? I'm buying, at market minus what you owe me. She sputtered. I owe you? You tanked my life. You tanked it, I said. Use my roots, my cash, my trust. House stays mine, or we drag this to court. Your call. She hung up, probably fuming. I called my lawyer, Mike. Next. Tara's sniffing around the house, I said. Can we lock it down? Already on it, Mike said. Filed yesterday to enforce the buyout clause. She tries anything, we've got her cold. Good, I said. And the dispatch dissolution? Finalized this morning, he said. She's got no claim. Proceeds are yours, minus her cut, which ain't much. I leaned back, chewing a donut. Tara thought she'd slip away with one last payday. Nope. That house was my sweat, my calluses. She wasn't getting a dime. Jake smirked. You're a machine, man. What's left? Clean up, I said. She's still squatting there. Time to move her out. Headed to the house that afternoon, Mike's papers in hand. Knocked, new lock still there, but I had a spare key from the garage. Let myself in. Tara was on the couch, eyes red, surrounded by boxes. She jumped up. Cole, you can't just walk in. My name's on the deed, I said, tossing the refinance doc on the table. Read it. You're done here. She snatched it, scanned it, face crumpling. You planned this, didn't you? All these years, setting me up. Nah, I said. Just covered my ass. You're the one who ran off with Bryce. She sank back, quiet. He's gone. Left me with nothing. Your choice, I said. Pack up. I'm taking the house. Lawyer's got the rest. She stared, then nodded slow, like the fight was finally gone. I walked out, left her to it. Back at the motel, Jake asked, she cave. Yeah, I said. But I ain't done. One more move. That night, I emailed the co-op a rundown on how Tara'd screwed us, how I'd fixed it. Attach proof of her and Bryce's scheme. Next morning, Ray called. Clients are back with us, he said. In words out, Tara's poison in this game. I smiled. House was mine, dispatch cash was mine, and her rep was trash. That last card, the buyout clause, sealed it. Tara thought she'd outsmarted me. Now she was packing boxes, wondering where it all went wrong. Me? I was just getting started.